an origin reading for the hybrid child. So there are a couple of guides here. I think I'm going to get into the crystals first, and then I'll get into that. So I have my selenite wand here, and also my crystal quartz wand. So this is usually for clearing and higher energies coming in, but I keep getting the word generating, also generating higher energies. And then I have my blue kyanite shards here. I have a lot more of them, but I pulled 5 for the reading. So 5 is a number all to do with changes, really. They can be drastic at times, or they can be very positive, they can be very negative, but they basically shift you from one state of being to another. So it can be about letting go of something, it can be about moving forward, and all of that type of thing has to do with 5s. Any type of change, really, a change of relationship, a change of career direction, even an awakening, really, could be represented by a 5. So this is my malachite, and then I have here my peacock ore. The peacock ore represents all of the chakras. And actually, when I was creating my sacred space, I had crown chakra music specifically playing. So crown chakra, again, has to do with higher energies. Influencing you is the word that I'm getting, and also communicating to you. Yeah, that's true. It has to do with mediumship, the crown chakra, so it certainly does have to do with communication, and also being guided or influenced. And then the malachite has to do with psychic protection, and it's also a very grounding stone. It's a stone for clearing, for healing. A lot of the green stones have to do with healing because they have to do with the heart chakra. And there are a lot of earth energies a lot of times with the green stones as well, and this one does have a very grounding effect. Kyanite is actually for the throat chakra, so it helps with your ability to communicate. These guides that you have coming in are extremely telepathic, and so some of what they're really referring to with the kyanite, and even the selenite and the quartz, because these also represent crown chakra, really. The white, this is crown chakra stones. So yeah, communicating telepathically, as well as just speaking your mind. So that it can be in a physical way. Normally, it would be more in a physical way, setting boundaries and clearing blocks in the throat. So this can be artistic, creative abilities. That's something that the throat has to do with, and also willpower, structure, and just power in general. This all has to do with the throat area. And I am getting a sense from them that it is important to clear the throat. So part of the reason that I have the kyanite and the 2 crystal wands here together, the white wands, it has to do specifically with clearing the throat. And kyanite does enable you to speak more, but also with the crown chakra music, that's really the message coming in. It's more about, even though, you know, the throat chakra obviously, you know, our physical vocal cords are there. And so, like I said, normally it would be thought of as a physical communication, but it is a communication center. And so, what they're really establishing is that this more has to do with telepathic communication and that you're more blocked with that. So, you're more blocked with communicating with them and with communicating with other higher uh, beings and other higher energies around you. And also, if you count the kyanites as one, then I actually pulled 5 crystals as well here. So I have a couple of fives here. So that's a master number as well, the 55. And they're really talking about stirring up your soul and shifting something in that way. So they're more speaking about an internal awakening, an internal process that certainly can change the outer experience and will change the outer experience when this occurs and as it continues to occur, because they're saying that it's already started. This shifting has already started. And right now they're saying it just feels like this bubbling up of almost like a soul calling. That's what they're calling it. Like your mission, things like that. Where did you come from? Obviously, that's why you got this reading. Who is your family? What type of being are you? Where have you been? But really they're saying that the soul calling you to ask and answer these questions, to ask and have these questions answered, find these answers in whatever form. And it'll be multiple forms, I get the feeling from them. And this is almost multiple uh, shifts during this awakening. It's not one thing, in other words. It's not one thing, it's multiple things and multiple awarenesses. They're saying like little shifts, little awakenings, triggers, they're saying. They're saying triggered by memory, recall as well. They're saying you're going to start to remember things as you regain your ability to communicate with them more. They're saying that right now you are communicating with them when you're sleeping, but they're saying that even that is a bit blocked or a lot blocked. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit now into these guides, into these this being type that you have here. So there are at least 2 guides here. I think that there might be more here in the room, but they're just not all communicating. Also, they're not all this race either. You do have some others around you. They're not concerned exactly with giving you your origin like from a long time ago, but they want to talk to you about some of the DNA that you have right now in this earthly form, and even in past lifetimes that you've had, um, and where you've been a member of this particular race. Uh, Water. And I really don't know what this race is. Obviously, there are loads and loads of races that we, have never communicated with or that we just don't know who they are. what they are. So I don't really know what race this is, but what I do know is as these energies were coming into the room when I was retrieving the code name, um, it felt very, very, very magnetic, like almost like I'm being pulled down, like into the ground. It felt like I was being really pulled downward, and they also felt like kind of small people, almost like the size of children, like a 6-year-old kid. So only a couple of feet high, really not very tall, these people. They can be a little taller, I did get the sense of, but for the most part, a lot of them were around 2.5 feet, maybe 3 feet tall. They just were not very tall. Even 1.5 feet, I even got a feeling of like between 1.5 to 3 feet tall. So pretty small. And like I said, there was this magnetic feeling of almost being pulled to the ground. Part of this was coming from the fact that they are small, but then I wasn't quite sure, where do they come from? What type of being are they? At first I was thinking, are you like some type of fairy, um, or an angel? And I couldn't really place it. And they were saying, yes, kind of, yes, but not exactly. um, so kind of an angel, kind of a fairy. But then I was also getting this feeling of just being like a person, just being like a regular person. And I was like, what is that energy coming in? Because they don't feel normal at all, but at the same time, they're almost sending me this kind of normal sort of energy, like we're normal human beings almost in a sense, but they're not. And so then I got this sense of them almost being some type of hybrid where they have some human quality to them, and they do look a bit human. So they would look like a small human mixed with something else, and I was not exactly sure what the something else would be. I was thinking, is this gray or something? But I was getting a no with that, and that doesn't even really make sense. Because if a gray were mixed with a human, it would be like around 5 feet or so. But anyway, so I was thinking about this, but then basically basically they were just sending this feeling like, you don't know what all of the races are, but also this feeling that this is not a current hybrid program. And so it's not like a gray hybrid program or something that this race is from. It feels like a much longer time ago. And the reason that there was this magnetic pull was because they were living under the ground. But they're also in another dimension. That was another thing that was coming in. They were saying that they're in 5 and 6D. They were saying sometimes 7, but mostly 5 and 6D. Okay. So they want to talk to you about your DNA though. And you do have some of this DNA like in your bloodstream now. So they're saying that you are a bit of a hybrid. It's muted down more, obviously. They're saying, um, you want to have a more human experience. You're being a human right now, and so it has to be muted down, but it's still there. And that is a part of you and a part of your essence. And even some physical qualities that you have, they're saying your eyes, some of your structure. There are qualities to you physically, that appear similar. They're saying it like they said, in a muted way. So it's not so similar that you are not appearing human, that you can't pull off looking like a human. You have to be able to look like a human to have this human experience that you're attempting to have. They keep coming in with this word attempting to have. Like almost like you're kind of failing at having a human experience, but they don't mean failing like failure. They're saying this in kind of a laughing kind of way, like you fail at being human because you're not human. So they don't mean like a failure. They mean like almost like fitting in and things like this and finding your place in the human world or fitting into a human way of doing things, a human world, human societal structures. This is not that easy for you. This is challenging for you. They're saying they are kind of laughing at that. And they're saying that you're not expected to fit in. And you have to go out of these categories like you're doing now. You have to travel outside of the boxes that these humans have placed over their society and really think of yourself as different from them and like embrace that. Let yourself be that. And that's okay. That is entirely who you are. And that's a good thing. And you need to embrace that. And they're saying, and just skip the whole normal phase and just realize who you are is completely different and not normal, unique, uniquely different. And they're saying that it can't be stable by being normal. They're saying you're going to have problems or issues if you attempt to fit into this way of being and be normal. And they're saying you're not normal. Yay! They're saying that's a thing to celebrate. They like that about you because that's just who you are. That's just natural. It's your natural way of being. It's the natural frequency that you're on. You resonate a little differently, meaning you vibrate a little higher than most people, than regular human people, because you're not a regular human being. Now, you do have some other influences around you. So you have some taller guides that are around you as well. Now, your guides are saying one thing that they're saying is that you're a very giving person. You feel the need to give to others. And expand their vibrations as well. And that's why you're here. When it comes to how to help, so that's not your reason, like what you are learning, like you personally. In other words, how is it helping you um, grow, etc. Obviously, that I don't know how to say that exactly. Obviously, that can help you grow to help others, etc. But I mean, that's not. Um, so you have your way of helping, right? And then you have things that you want to learn personally, etc. So ways that you are helping yourself solely. and then you have your mission, in a sense, to help others around you. So they're saying that your giving heart is going to help you do that. Your healing ability, they're saying through touch, through sound, they're saying, like frequency. Through your ability to listen. And they don't just mean to other people when they're um, when they're blabbing or something. They don't just mean like hearing people talk about problems and this type of thing, and you are comforting them. They're saying that it can be that. They said blabbing specifically. They were saying it can be that. They say things in this almost a little bit childish way, a little bit, even though they're adults. What was I saying? What were they saying? Right, okay, but so it's your giving heart that is going to help you with your mission specifically, they're saying, and it does involve giving this role of being a benefit to others in a kind way, or in like a servicing kind of way. Giving a service to others, and this can have something to do with healing specifically. It can have something to do with children even specifically, or animals even. Old people, sick people. So there are some different almost options coming in, or it could be something totally other. But they don't really want to be exactly specific with it. They want to say that your giving heart will guide you in the exact direction of what you're meant to heal. But it does have to do with bringing healing in some way. Bringing healing to others and helping them to lift their vibration up. And also people who need help specifically, or who aren't treated with as much respect and this type of thing. And to encourage others also to see themselves differently, because you are capable of doing that. You are able to do that. So that's why they're saying these groups like animals, older people, sick people, children. They're not saying like healthy adults, like healthy, normal adults. Maybe an adult that was abused or something like this. Maybe like an abuse victim, something like that, but not just a regular, healthy type of person. So you are here to help everyone, in a sense, they're saying, but specifically in the way of almost helping people who, or animals, like they said, who are neglected or downtrodden or disrespected in some way. So they're saying that that's your mission or part of it, but they're saying that there are many ways that you can go about doing that, and it has to do with what you are drawn to, what fascinates you, and what guides you through your heart, what your heart guides you toward. So this calling is going to guide you towards something, and that's part of this stirring. So part of this is a heart chakra stirring. Okay, so they have a few more minutes and like a couple more minutes, and they want to talk about how you can increase your telepathic communication with them. And they're kind of singing. I'm hearing this la 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 kind of kitty kind of singing. And now they're referring to the crown chakra again. And I have heard before that children, their crown chakras are extremely, extremely open. And then as they grow into adulthood, their crown chakra starts to close and even shrink. So they are speaking about being open and being childlike and opening the crown chakra and the third eye and focus on relaxing. And they're saying and almost feeling like it's a game. So don't stress about it. Just feel like this is almost like a game that you're playing. Like, what do you have to say to me today? And it doesn't have to be perfect or anything. And they're saying that it'll start just by these like little messages. I feel like they're saying clairaudient. This is one of the ways that it's going to come in. It might come in through some other abilities as well, and you will be discovering your specific abilities, but clairaudient for the reason that they are very telepathic. And I even had some full sentences come in just with clairaudience, and that's not normally what I work with at all. I normally work with clairvoyance and clairsentience. So you might just have some specifically clairvoyant, which is hearing it. It's hearing a sentence in your head. So they're saying to basically relax and let go and play. And that's all they have to say. Okay, so thank you very much, the hybrid child, for allowing me to do this reading for you. And I truly hope that this benefits you. Namaste.